Oh, hey, hey, check it out. It's the long-range cannon type. That's right, the Juggernaut is back again. Man, I'm excited to build up another one of these. Aren't you guys? Let's check it out. That's right, today we're taking a look at another one of the 148 scale HG Juggernaut kits here from the 86 anime. This is the long-range cannon type. Basically it's going to be everything we loved about the regular version, plus this massive cannon that it's got on its back, so it's going to be very cool. Very cool box art here right on the front. It's got the same thing over here on the ends of the box, but then if we go down here to the bottom, you can see it's showing off some of the features of the cannon, some of the moving parts on there, so you can actually eject a shell out of that. You can actually fold the cannon over the top of that as well too. You can adjust the angle of that. Once again, we've got the wire anchors included in here, a really cool accessory for this again. There's what the kit is going to look like when it's all painted up. Really cool design and very highly detailed for a small little kit as well too. So we're going to have a couple of different marking options for this one again, and there's some more detail images of that. Then we also have the M101 Barrett Combat Sport Mecha is included as well, but unfortunately it's not in orange at all actually, so definitely will be some painting required to make it actually look like that. It looks like we're going to have the same set of figures here for this. We got the pilot figure inside there, and then this figure of Vladilena, once again going to be included as well. Very nice and very highly detailed little figure there. It just would have been nice to maybe have something different included with this kit. But there's the regular general purpose type Juggernaut that we took a look at in the past, so if you missed that review, go back and check that out. Then there's also the Shin type, which has these kind of extra blade weapons on the front of there. And of course there is the Figurized standard kit of Lena, if you guys want to check that out. Let's go ahead, pop it open, see what we got in here. We'll take a look at the runners in a second. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the manual here first. You got the box art there up on the top, and down here some stills from the anime and some very tiny text, but it is there in Japanese and in English, so you can read that. Some info about the anime, and also Kurena there, our pilot, so we got some information about her, and then over here about Lena as well. On the back side, some more really tiny information there about the Juggernauts themselves, and then you have the front and rear view and the sticker placement just showing where that's meant to be placed on there. Then we've got the color guides here in Japanese and English as well for the Juggernaut itself, for the pilot character, and for Lena and the Barrett. So lots of colors there laid out for you in the manual. The rest of this is basically pretty normal. We got your parts list there and just general construction, and then how to mount it onto the base and how to use the weapons and all that here at the end. That's pretty much it. Let's check out the runners. So here is the sticker sheet, and there were some really cool designs. Hopefully at some point in the future maybe Bandai will put out like a decal set for this series. I kind of doubt it, but that would be nice to have these as actual waterslide decals. And here's your two wires there for the anchor. They seem shorter, but I'm gonna guess they're not. I'm sure they're probably the same, but just as far as I can remember, these seem shorter than what I remember from the regular general purpose use. Here's the A runner, where we got a couple of clear parts up there at the top, a couple of little red bits over here, some dark gray, and then some of that cream off-white there for the armor pieces. Runner B1 here is some more dark gray pieces for the legs and all that, and we do have a runner B2 as well, which is a copy of this section of the runner right there. Runner C1 is some more of the armor pieces, mostly for the legs, including our Lena figure over here. The runner C2 is a copy of those parts for the legs. Runner D is basically all of our parts here for the Barrett, and again, as you can see, it's not in orange, but just in the same dark gray color. And runner E is going to be what's new for this particular version of the kit, a bunch of dark gray mostly, a couple of red parts, a couple of off-white cream color parts, and then a pilot figure on this runner, which makes me think that maybe this is a new pilot figure for this kit. I'll have to double check. But that is it for all the parts, guys. Not a ton of pieces there, but there's a lot of little nice detail packed inside. So let me go ahead and get this built up, and then we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, so here it is all put together and looking very cool. Definitely really love the details on this kit, and the massive gun obviously is going to be the main new feature of this compared to the original kit that we previously took a look at. So we won't get too much into like the articulation of everything on this, and obviously there's not a whole lot of articulation, basically just the legs move all over the place, and that's kind of the main thing you need to know. But for this review, obviously we'll focus mostly on the new equipment there on its back, the new massive gun, and it is very cool and very large. If you wanted to kit bash this with something else, I would say it could very easily work as something very large for like an HG Gundam kit, or even something pretty good size for a master grade or like 1/100 scale Gundam kit as well too. Just to real quick go over the accessories first. There is your 148 scale Lena figure, again very nice and detailed. Our pilot figure can be accessed by lifting up the gun and then opening up the cockpit here, and you've got her up inside there, and a lot of nice detail. Again, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but it is very nicely detailed up inside the cockpit there as well. So if you were to paint this up, it's definitely a good opportunity to paint in all that detail in there. You got your Barrett, which again, not being in the correct color, is a little lackluster, and it's super plain. I mean, you can move these little arm parts here around, you can rotate the whole head thing on this, but as you can see, you got huge gaps there, and I mean, it's nothing really all that special, but it's kind of a cool thing to be included, I suppose. You got your clear little base for the bottom, which I don't really find to be all that necessary for these, but especially for this one with how heavy the gun is on the back, you might find it a little bit more useful compared to just the standard use one, but still, honestly, not really that useful of a thing. And for a little camera here on the front, you have the clear version of that if you prefer, or if you want to paint it in like a clear blue or clear orange or something, whatever. I've just gone ahead and used the red one, because if you're not painting it, the red one I think looks very cool on there. If this was just this clear part on there, it would look just kind of like a dark, shiny little thing inside this big dark space. Then you've got your parts for the wire anchor when that's in use, so you'll have to switch out these parts, and this is kind of a little bit annoying, but this part here on the side, you have to take this apart and swap out this piece, so this will be the one that you'll use for when the anchor is actually being shot out or in use. You just pull out the little anchor piece there and swap out that. But then as for the kit itself, like I said, on the legs you have a bunch of different articulation points all over the place, which is great, but also can be a little bit of a chore when you're trying to pose the kit. You have to make sure every single joint's all lined up so that the pose looks right and it doesn't look too funky. But also here on the front, these kind of machine gun weapons here on the front, you can kind of change the angle of those to be a little bit pointed up or down. You can point them in and out there like that. But like I said, the main thing we're going to focus on here is the big gun, and as you saw before, you can change the angle of that, and you have this kind of cool piston detail here at the back to move that up and down, and then obviously the whole cannon can fold up to the front like that, and it's as simple as that. There's no like real locking mechanism or anything for that. It does kind of plug into place. These two little pegs there will kind of plug into this shape there, but it's really, that's about it. Back here on the back, you can slide that up, and then the shell can come out there like that, but it does, there's no like automation for that to be like automatically popped out when you open this. They could have maybe made it in a way so that there's like a slanted angled piece in there or something like that that kind of forces that out when this opens up, but it's nothing really too fancy. It's just a very simple thing, but it's cool that it does it, I suppose. But again, I just want to show this to you guys up close so you can really appreciate all the awesome little detail that this has on there. On just this front section, you can see all that awesome little detail up in there, and even on the bottom side, very nicely detailed. You will have a seam line here on the top of the gun, as you might expect, and then on the white parts of the barrel. It's gonna be harder to see because it's white, but you have a seam line down the middle of that, and then even a seam line down the middle of this end piece here, unfortunately. So that's not fun, but also not necessarily that surprising. I mean, it is a just, you know, pretty small, simple kit that is packed with a lot of detail, but of course it is still going to have a few seam lines here and there. And on the main kit itself, actually, there's not any other seam lines other than just the ones that are on the new weapons, so it's really not all that bad. And for a comparison to just a standard HG 144 scale Gundam kit, here is the size. So as you can see, that gun going to be pretty large. If you wanted to try to use this with any HG kits, probably better suited for a mass grade if you were interested in getting this for some kit bashing purposes. And then for comparison with the general purpose type, you can see the back end of the gun is quite similar. It's really just going to be the body is a little bit different, and then obviously the front end is going to be the main thing, but just to give you a look at the difference there between the two of those. But yeah, I mean, they make a pretty cool set. There you have it, guys, another very cool HG kit here from 86. I highly recommend you guys check these out. They don't cost all that much. They're really nicely detailed, and I mean, they're just fun little kits to put together, and whether you want to just do a little bit of work just by maybe doing some panel lining and some top coat on them, they would look great, or if you want to, you know, fully paint them, it wouldn't be all that difficult kits to paint. Now this one, like I said, it's got a big seam line on the top of the gun, but other than that, I mean, pretty simple kits to paint as far as the pieces go. So if you're looking for something to take a break from your standard Gundam designs, kind of humanoid design stuff, you want to try something a little bit different, definitely check these out. As always, guys, the link to USA Gundam Store and the coupon code for you guys to use will be down in the video description below in case you want to check some of these out or anything else out there at USA Gundam Store. But for now, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I'm looking forward to the future releases coming out from the 86 series. I think those will be out in a couple months, so we'll be taking a look at those when those come out. But thank you guys so much for the support, liking the video, commenting, subscribing, or just checking out the video, coming to watch. Really appreciate that. Until next time, I hope you're all having a great day. See y'all later. Bye, guys.